Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early. Daily discipline. Mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Sunday, December 31st. You know what we're going to do. Study group for warriors. Every Sunday I get down with my study group for warriors. This is how we rock and roll on Sundays. I've been doing this study group every Sunday for at least 3 years. I haven't missed one yet. Not a single Sunday. So if you're new to the channel, and I do have a couple new subscribers, this is how we get down. I basically go through my notes. I program every day, mind, body, and soul, every single day. And I take notes. You should be too. You should be studying. You should be taking notes. Get yourself a little notepad. When you come up with a good idea, when you hear something that you like, you want to think about, write that shit down. Ponder it. Give yourself some time each day to think about stuff. You grab your little notebook and go through it and just think about that shit, man. People might think you're crazy. This is how we get through. This is how we move forward. This is warrior training. Some of you don't need it. Some of you just want to cuddle. You just want to go back to bed. Your little warm little covers. Oh, it's cold out. Go cuddle. Some of us are up and we're programming every day. So let's just get into it. I got 6 pages or so. Who knows if we'll get through them all. I'll start from the back and then work my way to the front for no real reason. Doomsday predictions are funny. Doomsday predictions to me are always a scam or a mistake. Who was that guy? There was a guy in the 90s, and first he was a Christian, like a religious nut, and he came out. Where was it? It was in California, in Oakland, California, of course, Northern California. And he predicted that the world was going to end in 1994. Some of you may not remember because you weren't even born yet, or you possibly were a little kid. But 1994 was going to be the end of the world, according to these Christian nut jobs. And it was in the news, and they promoted it, and then it didn't happen. Oops, I guess we were wrong. And he said, I got the math wrong. I got to do the math again. So he goes back into his little secret room, and he comes back out with some new math, and he's like, what did he say? 2011. It was 2011. That's when it's going to happen. He even had an exact time, 6 o'clock. I forget the day, May 15th, whatever it was, 2011, 6 o'clock. And everybody's sitting around at 6 o'clock, 2011, on whatever day they said it was, and it didn't happen. People sold their houses. They're ready for the rapture. And it didn't happen. So then he came out the next day, and he said, it's still going to be 2011, but it's not May. It's October. But by that time, people were done with this motherfucker. They were just like, dude. But there's been plenty of others who have talked about this doomsday fantasy. It's usually agenda-driven. There's always an agenda. When you hear someone talk about doomsday, it's an agenda. Let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about agendas. Do you guys watch documentaries? I love me some documentaries, man. I love documentaries. I watch all kinds of documentaries, and I've been watching documentaries forever. And YouTube is great for that shit, but here's the deal. You have to understand what you're getting into. When you watch a documentary, you are not watching the news. You're watching a reality TV show. This is like a movie, a reality movie. Reality TV shows are always fake. They're not real. You can go look into it. There's no real reality TV show. They're all fake. All of them. The pawn shop show, think of another reality show, the 2 twin brothers that build those houses, any of them, think of anyone, they're all fake. And same with the documentaries. Documentaries have elements of reality to them, but they are always agenda driven. Absolutely, just like those doomsday fucks, the documentary people are absolutely trying to trick you into an agenda, into their agenda, and it's usually either a liberal or conservative bias. It's propaganda. That's all you're watching is propaganda. They are not showing you the real story. It's just the truth. And I love documentaries. But realize that you're not learning. What you're learning is somebody's personal truth that they're trying to put across. The documentary is always just a personal truth of whoever made it. Let's talk about unconventional lifestyles, bohemian lifestyles. Oh, you bohos. A lot of people in 2017 started moving into their vehicles. And I don't know why 2017, but I've been tracking this. So they don't call it being homeless. That's the funny thing, because that's what you are. You're fucking homeless. You're a homeless bum. But no, they want to say it's van life. I'm living the van life. You're a homeless bum. Oh, I'm an RVer. No, you're a homeless bum. I'm a traveler. I travel around. I'm a traveler. I'm free, living this life of freedom on the road. You're a homeless fucking bum is what you are. I'm a car dweller. Car camping. Homeless bum. Boondocking. I'm a snowbird who boondocks. You're a homeless bum. On the other side of suffering is salvation. And think about Jesus for a second. I mean, the story, I'm not trying to trip on if it was real or not. It doesn't matter to me. Just look at it as a story. Like the Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. It's just a story. Jesus, he was born homeless, right? In a manger. Lived his life as a wanted criminal and a heretic. He was an outcast to his own people. Backstabbed by his homeboy, right? His own homeboy stabbed him in the back, went and turned him in. He was tortured and then eventually killed in prison, hung on the cross. But the thing about all that story is he had a miserable life, man. Jesus had a miserable damn life. Talk about a story of suffering. But he was saved afterwards. And you can be also. Your life might suck. You might be really going through it, man. But on the other side of that suffering is your salvation. Let's move on to the next one. You ever watch that stupid sitcom, The Big Bang Theory? I used to hate that stupid show. It emasculated men. I mean, I know the premise was all about nerds, but the entire show emasculated men, made men out to be dumbasses, and I don't know, I hated that show. It was just stupid. The Sheldon character, I didn't understand his character. Is he retarded? Is he mentally ill? What the hell's wrong with this guy? But what I found interesting about that show is I was over a buddy of mine's house the other day. This guy, he used to be a Latin king. He's 10 years older than me. He's from the Bronx. He did lots and lots and lots of time in Sing Sing, Rikers, all those prisons up there. And whenever I go over to his house, and I visit him every once in a while, he's got a couple boys, and I mentor two of them. He's always watching these dumbass shows, man. If you're watching, you know you are, motherfucker. You watch the dumbest fucking TV shows. Every time I go over there, you got some stupid show on TV. And he's watching The Big Bang Theory last time I was over there, just chilling, hanging out with him. And they actually it was this episode about a relationship agreement. And the Sheldon character, the weirdo, he created this document that was a relationship agreement. And I thought, well, what a brilliant idea. They should have those. And people forget conversations. You can have an agreement and say, okay, this is how I am, and this is what I kind of expect in a relationship, and she could say the same thing, and you guys can meet in the middle and kind of shake hands and agree on it. Not that you do that, but you know what I mean? And have this verbal agreement that this is how we're going to be in the relationship, and this is how the relationship is going to go. And you can even cover a lot of different topics, but people forget conversations, man. I know they do. I forget them. But they don't forget contracts. I've been in business for a long time. I don't forget contracts. I forget a conversation because it happens. I'm human. But a contract, I signed that motherfucker. I signed that bitch. I know what the contract says. I remember what the contract says. I can go look at it if I forget. I think it's a good idea. A relationship agreement. Here's some bad news for some of you. You're not going to like this, but it is the way it is. Truth hurts sometimes. Women don't like heavyweight bodybuilders. There, I said it. If you're 250 pounds and super yoked, big, bubbly, giant muscles with veins popping through, hey, good for you, brother. I'm not hating on you. Good for you. I know lots of guys like that. And the gym I go to is a rather hardcore gym. I don't go to Planet Fitness. And there's big steroid goons there. Big men. Guys who are on stage, you know, that kind of thing. Women don't like that. Women don't like that. I promise you. Go do a study. Go do a survey yourself. Women are scared of guys like that. So, just a tip. If you're single and you're a big giant steroid goon, you're going to meet a lot more guys than you are women. The guys are checking you out. The chicks aren't. The chicks are terrified of you. Here's a rule with arguing. If you're going to argue with a woman, don't yell. You can yell at your buddies. If you're going to argue with your buddies over the Dallas game last night and the penalty on the Detroit Lions or whatever reason why they lost, oh yeah, you guys can yell. Who cares how you argue with your buddies? But when you're arguing with a woman, when you're arguing with your girl, with your wife, don't yell. You do not yell. You don't raise your voice. You don't start screaming. You stay calm. Let's talk about forgiveness. I'm big on forgiveness. Now you have to understand what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is for yourself, it's not for others. You're not forgiving someone to tell them it's cool or to make friends with them again so we can hang out again. Oh, it's cool, bro. Let's be friends again. That is not why you forgive. I do not forgive that way. I forgive for myself. So you don't have to pay rent anymore in my fucking head. So I'm not having you in my thoughts. So I don't have to be holding on to negativity. But you have to understand that forgiveness and redemption are two different things. Redemption follows forgiveness. You can forgive somebody, but that doesn't mean that person is redeemed. My father was murdered in 1991 in a gang war. He was murdered by his enemy. I forgave the man who murdered my father. I forgave him. It took me a while. I didn't do it that moment. It took me years, many years. But I forgave him. Now that doesn't mean that the man, Little Mike, the guy who murdered my dad, Little Mike isn't redeemed. He's going to have to answer to God for what he did. But Sky is not holding a grudge anymore. You don't get into heaven with a grudge. If you want to understand forgiveness a little bit more, forgiveness is for the past. That's how it addresses the past. Forgiveness addresses your past, and that's how you get over the past. You get past the past. Redemption is your path towards the future. In order to be redeemed, you have to prove that you're trustworthy and that you're loyal. Let's move to the next one. If I still got time, I'll do a little more. Here's the meaning of life. We don't need to go over this too long, but a lot of you are confused. What's the meaning of life? The meaning of life is to prepare your soul for God's kingdom. That's what you're here for. If you haven't started that yet, you need to get on it. Here's another tip. Purify your inner life. Clean up. You may have to start with your outer life. Clean up your house, clean up your car. But that's a representation of your mind, of the thoughts inside your mind, of the messiness inside your mind. Clean up your mind. And we do this by being highly aware of our inputs, of what we put into ourselves. Maybe bad nutrition, maybe bad music. You may be sitting around listening to gangster rap, or some of you country bumpkins, you rednecks, you listen to that twangy, depressing country. Oh, my dog left me, my truck doesn't work. And then you wonder why you sit around all the time depressed. You're brainwashing yourself. You eat junk food. Food is a drug. Go through everything that you put into yourself and question it. How is this affecting me? The sights, the sounds, all your senses are absorbing information from around you. And think about purity. Think about purity as the filter for everything that goes into you. If it's not pure, don't let it in you. We'll go over this list quickly and then we'll end the video. Here's a list of things that God honors. God honors labor. He honors work. He does not honor laziness. God honors openness. He doesn't honor closed-mindedness. Oh, you closed-minded idiots. You don't get honored by God. God laughs at you for being a fool. The open-minded man catches God's attention, where he's like, oh, we have a warrior down there. Maybe he's ready for the next level. God honors virtue, the virtuous man, the man of character. Where do you get your virtue from if not from God? You make it up as you go along? God honors humility, a humble man. All you guys out there that are so proud, you're so proud of everything. Proud of your country, proud of your race, proud of everything. Oh, I'm so proud of my money, proud of everything. You're a child. Learn humility. God honors the helpers and the givers, the first responders, the mothers, the fathers, the people that stop and take the time to help a wounded animal or a stray dog. God honors truth tellers and despises liars. The devil is a lie. God is the truth. And finally, God honors you spiritual warriors out there. You guys that are with me, that are programming every single day, mind, body, and soul. God honors you. He recognizes you. I hope you guys have a good New Year's Eve. Don't drink too much. I'm not going to drink at all. I'll probably go to bed early. Have a good one.